October 15th, some of the so-called self-proclaimed experts tell you October is the lull. Well, I got news for them clowns, and I call them clowns because I've seen them all. In the last 40 years, I've seen them come and go, just like the leaves on the tree. Just because they don't see deer and their anticipation is greater than what the nature has to offer in October, they label it as a lull. Well, friends, you just take yourself one good gander around here, right here. The beauty that nature offers in October. It's not all about killing the big one. It's about getting out in God's given earth and enjoying the painting of his trees that only he could paint. Killing a white-tailed deer is a far, far second. Nothing compares to this time of the year. And don't you let one of those so-called experts diminish that. You go to the woods if you get the opportunity and you absorb every minute of life. And just absorb the colors, the cool in the air, all that. There's no such thing as an October lull. Let's go hunting. Had one gentleman ask me on a comment, why the hip boots? Well, in Alaska, those are considered woodland tennis shoes. And as I traverse down this creek, I don't have to worry about stepping in a hole that's deeper than my, say, 12-inch boot and going to stand with a wet sock the rest of the night. So, yeah, hip boots will alleviate that. And like I said, that's common footwear in Alaska. Now, as I use this creek drainage to get to my stand, I should come right out at the stand, get real close to it, and I can traverse down through here. I got a west wind, northwest wind. I'm going to set up, but this will get me right in without traversing across anything. So I'll get to walking down through here. Now with the hip boots, I don't have to worry about, or waders, I don't have to worry about stepping into a hole that I didn't conceive was there. This is one of my favorite ways to get to this stand back here. By using this creek, staying low with the deep banks, I can really power hunt right to my blind. And that's what hunting's supposed to be about. It's not just walking out and sitting into a fiberglass kaibo on stilts, regardless of the wind direction. This is hunting. You had to plan your attack and see if it works. It's not just hunting, ain't just killing. This all comes into play in helping you make your own luck. And it's exciting. You get to be a little kid again, wading in the creek. I'm traversing back to an area that I call the Walnut Flats. Now last year there was a huge scrape in there that went unhunted and undetected. So I'm using what I learned from last season, hopefully to benefit me this season. And with this cold spell, the bucks ought to be opening up scrapes pretty hot and heavy. And this is the best way to get in there. No ATV required. You gotta walk. And I'm blessed that I can walk. And on that subject, I feel sorry for people that can't with physical handicaps. So I know ATVs do have a play, but every time you can avoid using one, if you can, go it by foot. And where the water is the deepest, it has less mud at the bottom because it's down to the rock. If you walk where it's shallow, that's where the sediment is, and you sink down quite a ways. Right here in this channel, your feet touch the bottom real solid. Heck of a deer crossing right there. Log jam. Have to go around that. Old Fred Bear is walking alongside me with Irv Wagner, Mel Johnson, Roger Rothauer, all those grandiose men, Ben Pearson, Gail Martin. This is how them people hunted. They didn't hunt with technology gobbledygook, and they did quite well for themselves. But they also knew bow hunting was meant to be challenging, not a technology advantage over wildlife. This puts the spirit of hunt back into hunting. The creek that you see moving fast, the fall foliage and color and falling. That's what you should be hunting for. That's the reason I picked up the bow, was to be in this atmosphere out of the so-called human race in such a fast-paced, get out of my way, me first society. Nature will slow you down. I personally did not go pick up a bow to go to the field for something easy. I'm like Art Young. I wasn't nowhere near what he was as an Olympic rifle shot, but he wanted something more challenging, and the bow and the arrow was his vehicle to that challenge. Like walking down this creek. This brings back childhood memories of trying to catch crawdads, all that. I'm 68 years old and I get to relive my youth. This is an exercise you have to do. Get to your stand undetected by using the terrain and the wind, so that when you get into your stand, you feel powerful that you did not inadvertently spook game going into that stand. We're almost here to the stand, and I'd like to address one thing with people. You have several stands, and do not, under no circumstances, label any of them the best, because then all you're going to do is sit in your stand that you chose that night and meditate or argue with yourself, what ifs and what ands, I should have set the other stand. The stand that you choose, the first stand, is the best stand that your onboard computer told you to go to. Set them up all equal, and if they're set up for that right wind, you go there and you expect that you hunted the best stand that you choose, and forget about that inner argument of what ifs and what ands, because no stands are created equal. But when you hang a stand, you hang it for that wind, and when you go to that, if your little man up here tells you that's the stand to go to, don't sit there and argue. Go there, because that's your freshest instinct. And that's part about being a woodsman. You go with your instinct. And usually your first thought, inkling of where to go will be your best until you get in there and start sorting through it and screw it all up. So go there with a strong will, a strong frame of mind, and know you're sitting in the best stand that you got for that night. The deer that have been going up that trail should pass by my blind if they're moving tonight. And that's some serious deer tracks there. There's my stand. It took us a good half hour to get here. Well, there's the creek. And you can see it's only about 15 yards from this tree. I planned it that way. And I want to show you what's out here. There's a T intersection right there. One going off to the southwest, coming right toward the tree stand to the southeast, and the other one going right into the wind to the northwest. And just up that trail last year was a huge scrape. So I'm going to sit here and hope I get, most people hunt behind a curve. You see the big rub, you see the scrape. That's what I call hunting behind the curve. If you can hunt in front of the curve and get the maker of that rub or that scrape throughout by your scouting of the previous season, you're far better off than hunting after the fact. A real important thing for you beginning hunters, and first time you put tree stands up, make sure that the sun is at your back when you sit. Find a situation that you can hunt with the wind coming into your face with the sun at your back, be it morning stand or evening stand. And you want to throw one of these build baseball caps in your gear in case you get a little tweaking of the sun, because as you can see right now, I'm sitting, the sun is right there. Now if I had to sit there and stare into that for 2-3 hours, it would be unbearable. But I'm sitting with my back to the sun, with my back up against a tree, and there's where ladder stands really come in handy. You can get up them quicker, and you can set them on a leaning tree, and they just make an excellent backrest. I still have a lot of hang-on stands that I use, but as the older I get, and with the acceptance of the deer, I know when they first came out, everybody was scared to death of them, me included. I was not going to hunt out of something that looked like that. My first stand was a Warren Sweet. That's been many years ago. Anyhow, make sure when you set up that you're not looking directly into the sun, because it'll make a long sit unbearable. Yeah, another alternative way for wind checking, and they're free, are these turkey feathers. You just pull a little feather off and watch it float away, floating off into the southeast direction. We're hunting a northwest wind. Well, that was fun. I'm going to call it a night. I got 15 minutes left of shooting light. And we seen some does. We seen that flock of turkey, and they went to roost up there. And it's dead calm, so it's early, but I had fun. So just remember, throw that October lull nonsense out and go hunt. Every time you get in the woods may be your last time. So have fun and keep it simple. That's it from the non-typical.